Hey, what's up guys, Peter here. So I do have a little update on my twin turbo build for my 04 Gallardo. So I'm going to talk about that in this video, but I also want to go over the build list for my build at Dallas Performance, because a lot of people have been asking me specifically, you know, what's exactly being done to the car. And I figured I would just go through the entire list and tell you exactly what's being done to the car. Now, this is everything for like a stage 2 twin turbo build at Dallas Performance. Those of you who are curious about what they actually do to the car, I think you'll like this video. All right, so first of all, I've got a little update. So the last time I got some information from Dallas Performance was on Friday, and they basically said that the body shop had finished fitting the bumper, and it fits perfectly, they said, and they were actually supposed to be painting it this weekend. So I haven't heard anything yet, so hopefully that's done. If they get the car back this week, or you know, after this weekend, which I hope they do, then they can start putting the motor back in the car, because the motor build is now done. It's basically, I guess it's just sitting on a stand waiting to go in the car. On top of that, he also sent me this picture right here that shows the motor sitting there all put together, and look at the parts on the shelf right there. So those are all my parts for the induction system, the parts that make up the twin turbo portion of this build. So there on the shelves, you'll see those 2 turbos right there. Those look pretty badass, huh? I didn't think those are going to be in satin black. That's pretty cool. So those are 2 precision turbos, and then we can see all the other parts on the shelf there. There's some axles there, some of the intake parts, and I can't remember exactly what's in the photo because I'm not looking at it, but you can see it. So all that stuff is waiting to go into the car. So hopefully once they get it back, the motor will be in, those parts will be all in, the exhaust will be welded on, and they can have it on the dyno hopefully within a couple of weeks. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm really missing this car at this point. I mean, we are finally have some really good weather here in Maine, and people are starting to do car things. I'm starting to go to car shows without my Lamborghini, and to tell you, it does suck, but I think it's going to be worth the wait. And then here's just a couple of random pictures of the motor itself. So I hope you enjoyed those quick little photos. Hopefully I can make another video at the end of this week saying the bumper has been done, and you know, some more progress on the car actually being put back together. So exciting times ahead. Stay tuned for more updates. So the second part of this video, I want to answer a lot of questions I've been getting about the build. People are asking, you know, what exactly is being done? You know, people asking why I'm building the motor, people asking how much horsepower it's going to make, a whole bunch of things. So I figure I would just answer all of those questions now with the actual invoice that I got from Dallas Performance. I'm not going to show any prices. You know, that information is publicly available on Dallas Performance's website if you want to check it out. So I'm going to wait until I actually stop to read this list, because it is a huge list and I'm trying to drive. So we'll cut to that part of the video right now. Okay, so I've got the official invoice that Dallas Performance sent me back in January. First of all, to start, a description of the work being done. Dallas Performance Stage 2 04 to 08 Gallardo twin turbo system, 800 wheel horsepower on 93 octane, 1050 wheel horsepower on MS 109 fuel, basically race fuel. So here's the invoice is basically broken up into different sections. One section is the twin turbo system, the part that obviously makes up the twin turbo system, engine and boost management, and the fuel system, and then the engine upgrades, and then some miscellaneous add-ons basically that I opted for. All right, so to start off, we've got twin billet ball bearing precision turbos, twin billet tile V-band wastegate, twin billet tile blow-off valves, race core air-to-water intercooler with custom fabricated tanks and fittings. So this is obviously the intercooler portion of the turbo system. I'm not sure how to say this. Maziere billet intercooler pump, oversized intercooler hoses and fittings, custom fabricated stainless steel turbo hot side system, custom fabricated stainless steel exhaust discharge system with high flow X pipe design. So this is the exhaust portion of the turbo system, because we don't actually keep the same exhaust on the car because it changes the whole geometry of the intake and exhaust piping in the car. So a lot of people ask, are you keeping your Fab Speed Performance exhaust? And the answer is no, because a new one needs to be fabricated with this system. So I'll be selling that. If any of you watching this wants to buy my Fab Speed Super Sport X pipe exhaust, hit me up. And I'm also going to be selling my test pipes too, because those are not getting reused. So if anyone watching this video has a Lambo and they're interested in those parts, let me know. We've got a large heat exchanger for air to water core, large water / ice tank with billet 6-inch Dallas Performance filler lid, black silicone couplers, stainless steel T-bolt clamps, 4-inch air inlet piping, and high flow air filters. Billet oil filter relocation kit. Okay, cool. So that sounds like they relocate the oil filter. So I'm not sure if it's no longer on the top of the engine or not. I'll be interested to find that out. Stainless steel braided oil feed and return hoses with fittings for turbo oil system. Black texture powder coated finish, standard on all cold side components. That basically means all the cold parts of the turbo system are basically going to be the black powder coated finish, which is cool. I've seen some cars with like the mirror polished finish. I don't like that at all. It fades over time and it just looks old, outdated really. So ceramic coating on exhaust components, standard with high temp heat wrap. So that means my entire exhaust system is going to be black ceramic coated. So hopefully that will help keep down temps in the engine bay. So since they're getting rid of my test pipes, those were not wrapped before, and I was always paranoid about them that would increase temps in the engine bay, and I'm sure it did. So hopefully, since they're going to be ceramic coating my entire exhaust system from the from the header joint back, hopefully that will help keep down the engine bay temps, which is a lot more important now that I'm going to be running forced induction. Engine and boost management starts off with a Motec ECU, Motec boost controller, map pressure transducer. I'm not really sure what that is. And just as a disclaimer, by the way, I don't know what all of this stuff is. Most of it, I'd say 95% of it, I know what it is. But that map pressure transducer, I have no idea what that is. Motec 4-position map switch. So that's obviously so I can switch between maps. So the car is going to come with different horsepower maps for different fueling. So I'm going to have like a 93 octane map. I'm going to have a race fuel map, and I'm not sure what the other ones are for, so we'll wait to find out about that. I remember asking Taylor at Dallas if he would also give me a map for 91 octane, because here in Maine, 93 octane is not as readily available as 91 octane. So if I get low on fuel and I have to put 91 in the car, hopefully that comes with a map so I can just turn the knob and adjust. So that basically means that I can switch between power modes basically with the flip of a switch. So let's say that I'm running around on the 93 octane map, 800 wheel horsepower map all the time. Let's say I want to go to the track and I want to put race fuel in the car. Well, obviously I need to put race fuel in the car, but then I can just switch to that map that's going to give me that extra, 900, like 300 horsepower or so to the wheels. So it's just a flip of a switch, which is pretty cool. Wideband oxygen sensors, custom mil-spec wiring harness, fast response charge air temp sensor. Again, I don't know what most of that stuff is. Okay, on to the fuel system. Billet hard anodized fuel rails. So they're gonna have to custom make, or they have to put new fuel rails in the car to handle the extra flow of fuel required to make up for the extra air that's being pumped into the engine with the turbos. 10 additional high impedance injectors, so they're changing the injectors out to more high flow injectors, again to pump more fuel into the cylinders, which is required because we're slapping 2 big turbos on there. We're putting a bunch more air into the engine, so we need to match it with fuel. Billet fuel pump hangers with upgraded fuel pumps, billet fuel pressure regulator with 1-to-1 reference for boost application. I have no idea what that means. Stainless steel braided fuel lines and fuel fittings. Now here are the engine upgrade. These are specifically related to the engine itself. So this work right here is all done. So this is pretty exciting. So the engine had to be built to handle the extra boost being thrown at it, obviously. So a lot of people are asking, why are you building the motor? Well, the stock 04 to 08 Gallardo motors, especially the 04, the really early ones, they are pretty weak. They can't handle extra boost. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go with the stage 1 bolt-on system, because I didn't want to blow the motor. So in order to handle all the extra boost being thrown into the engine, the extra power it's going to be making, the entire engine had to be built basically to handle that power. Now, I'm told from Taylor at Dallas Performance that this particular engine build that I'm getting is good, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he told me on my Facebook last week that it's good for 1,700 wheel horsepower. Again, don't quote me on that, but it's good for, let's say, around 15 to 1,700 wheel horsepower. So in the future, if I want to upgrade, go to a stage 3 system or maybe the RS1 system. But anyways, forged engine upgrades, custom steel cylinder sleeves with machine work. So they basically sleeve the cylinders in the engine and do all the machine work, etc. I'm not really sure exactly how that's done. I'm not a machinist and I don't build motors. Custom Carrillo connecting rods with high strength rod bolts. So obviously stronger connecting rods to handle the extra power. Custom forged piston set with moly skirt coatings. Not entirely sure what that is. Upgraded H13 heavy wall wrist pins. Upgraded tool steel piston ring pack. Lamborghini Gallardo engine main bearings, Lamborghini Gallardo engine connecting rod bearings, Lamborghini Gallardo engine thrust bearings, front and rear main seal, gasket kit with including head gaskets, main head bolts, engine head bolts, machine work and assembly of engine short block. So short block basically means everything except the head. So yeah, that includes them putting the motor back together, stripping it down, etc. Labor to remove, strip down, assemble, time camshafts, and reinstall complete engine break-in and oil filter, so they have to break in the engine coolant and other fluids including shop supplies. Fully installed and tuned by Dallas Performance, includes a 2-year 24,000 mile limited warranty. So that's the entire build. The last part of the build are some optional added upgrades that I opted for. The Dallas Performance billet axle upgrade, so basically upgrades the axles of the car, obviously, to handle the extra power. Also getting a ceramic street clutch, a new clutch to handle the extra power so it doesn't slip and basically annihilate the clutch under the extra power we're having. Also not listed on this list, Taylor also is going to be putting the car back to all-wheel drive for me at no extra charge, which is very, very nice of him. So that's the entire build laid out. That's everything that's getting done to the car. I know a lot of you have been asking about that, so hopefully that answered some questions. So there you go, just a quick update. The bumper should be painted by now. Motor is done, all put back together, and all the parts, the twin turbo parts and the engine, are waiting to go back into the car. So hopefully within the next week or two, we can see that my car actually being put back together and being complete and on the dyno, and see what kind of horsepower numbers it makes on the dyno. So if you like these kind of videos, if you want more updates on my twin turbo Lamborghini build, please go ahead and press the like button. It lets me know that you like this content and it keeps me motivated to keep making content like this. That's the only way I really know that you guys like these videos, is by your comments and pressing that like button. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about this process. Is there anything else you want me to talk about regarding my twin turbo build? Let me know. But other than that, go ahead and hit subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next video.